Feroz to present the management highlight. Pak Feroz, you may kindly proceed.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone, for your time to join our call today. Allow us to begin the key highlights of our results for the third quarter of 2024. Now, if you look at the slide, in the first slide, we are very much pleased to present that during 9 months of 2024, we have demonstrated strong profitability focus with double-digit growth despite challenges which we saw in consumer spending. We are also excited to announce the successful completion of our planned structural transformation with fixed broadband customer migration from LinkNet, thus positioning EXCL as the second largest ISP and paving the way for new opportunities for our convergence ambitions going forward. Our financial performance remained robust, with EBITDA growing by 13% year-on-year, outpacing top-line growth. This was driven by our ongoing constant focus on operational efficiency, achieving an EBITDA margin that stands at 52.4% for the 9 months 2024. Our PAT saw an increase of 32% year-on-year, reinforcing our commitment to profitability. Subscriber growth continues with mobile subscribers reaching 58.6 million, reflecting a solid 2% growth year-on-year. EXCL fixed broadband also surged, with EXCL home subscribers growing by a notable 40% year-on-year. Our commitment to cost excellence is paying off, even more so required in a challenging macroeconomic climate. We managed to reduce our OPEX by a sizable 3% quarter-on-quarter and by about 0.4% year-on-year, driven by efficiencies in overall costs, namely sales and marketing costs, direct expenses, and infrastructure costs. Finally, we are proud to announce that our structural transformation to ServeCo is complete, bringing over 1 million fixed broadband subscribers under EXCL Axiata. Next slide. Now, our transformation journey to ServeCo has positioned EXCL as as one of the leaders in the Indonesian fixed broadband market. As of 27th of September 2024, around 750,000 First Media subscribers have now officially joined the EXCL Axiata family. Along with the 289,000 EXCL Home customers, EXCL Axiata now serves over 1 million fixed broadband subscribers. This monumental development catapults EXCL Axiata to become the second largest ISP in Indonesia, now access to more than 6 million homes passed and extensive presence in more than 127 cities across the country. With First Media now on board, we have actually gained a fresh new engine to power our convergence ambitions, with opportunities to further penetrate converged services to a larger customer base. Our product suite now includes a broader content selection, making our proposition even more compelling than before. Now, on the digitalization front, we have actually accelerated our efforts, fueling both revenue growth and product innovations centered around personalization. We have seen remarkable traction with our digital initiatives. Our app users have grown by nearly 20% year-on-year, reaching 32.2 million. This means that the penetration of a digital application is the highest in the industry at 55%. We have also seen a substantial increase in revenues generated from own app channels, now at 33% of our mobile revenue. This leaves room for further optimization, especially at a time when consumer spending begins to recover. To further drive revenue uplift, we've launched Bebas Puas, a flexible, customizable daily package designed to give the flexibility to our customers to select daily packages tailored to their needs and budget. This aligns with our commitment to provide more personalized solutions, ensuring that we meet the diverse demands of our clientele and encourage more frequent usage. AI continues to be an important aspect of EXCL's identity, driving both revenue and cost excellence. We have succeeded in leveraging AI to provide enhanced customer experience, drive operational excellence, and foster innovations. AI has supported our revenue uplift through intelligent network planning, hyper-personalization in our digital apps, and also supports our fixed connectivity business growth as well as monetization strategies as we explore AI as a service. On the cost side, AI has optimized network operations and enhanced sales operations efficiency, as well as created Gen AI-powered backend operations automation. Our dedication to embedding AI continues across operations as it strengthens EXCL's competitive edge and paves the way for sustainable growth. Now let's delve deeper into our financials and operational highlights. Despite seasonal challenges and economic headwinds, we maintain a resilient performance with solid profitability. Our revenue grew by 6% year-on-year, while EBITDA grew faster at 13%, reflecting our efficiency gains. PAT surged 32% year-on-year with an impressive EBITDA margin of 52.4%, surpassing our guidance. Even in a seasonally weaker quarter, we actually achieved steady growth in both mobile and fixed broadband subscribers. Mobile subscribers reached 58.6 million, marking a 2% increase from the same period in 2023, while ARPU was resilient despite softer spending and moderating growth of traffic. EXCL Home and EXCL Satu showed positive development with a substantial growth in the quarter. Convergence penetration has also increased to now 83% of EXCL Home subscribers are also subscribed to mobile services. Our commitment to profitability has been exemplified by our disciplined cost management. Focus on operational excellence is imperative, even more so during times of weaker consumer purchasing environment due to the economic conditions. Operating expenses in Q3 saw reductions across several categories, notably in sales and marketing, infrastructure, and direct expenses. We will indeed continue this disciplined approach to cost management to maintain the most efficient cost-to-revenue ratio and reinforcing our focus on profitability. Our commitment to smart, impactful investments remains stronger than ever. We are strategically expanding our BTS presence across key regions, ensuring that each investment maximizes both reach and asset productivity. Every step that we take is carefully designed to sustain the strength and efficiency of our network operations while positioning us for future growth. We are pleased to inform that we've now fiberized 63% of our sites. This achievement not only amplifies our connectivity quality, but also sets a strong foundation for future innovation, allowing us to deliver faster, more reliable service to our valued consumers in Indonesia. Looking ahead, while we anticipate tightening competitive environment and consumer spending challenges, therefore, our full-year guidance, we are targeting mid to high single-digit revenue growth. Amidst macroeconomic challenges, which will require even further attention on operational excellence, we expect EBITDA margins to improve to above 50%, alongside a very disciplined approach to CapEx, which will aim to be below 8 trillion for 2024. This concludes the summary for the quarter. Thank you, and I'll hand over back to Chris.
Thank you, Pak Feiruz. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to the Q&A session. As a reminder, the Q&A session will be a hybrid mode. To ask a question, you may type it in the Q&A box. Please ensure to also type in your full name and company name. If you would like further clarification after your question is answered, kindly use the raise hand button and we will proceed to unmute your mic. The first question comes from the line of Pius from HSBC. In mobile, how is the competitive dynamics? When did you and how do you see the increase in tariff? And has there been response from the other peers? Can you comment on the outlook for mobile ARPU? And in home broadband, how is the competitive dynamics? What is your current ARPU in fiber broadband and outlook for ARPU? I think this one we will pass to Pak David and later on to Pak Abhijit to address on the home ARPU.
Yeah, so thanks, Pius, for the question. I will start with the first one. the competitive dynamics and the tariff increase. Well, the easy answer, the price increases, we started to do price increases during the first week of September. So yeah, first week of September, I think it was the 4th or the 7th of September is when we started increasing. You know that when you increase prices in certain channels, the impact comes almost immediately. In other channels, like the traditional channel, it needs to flow to the market, so it takes a little bit more of time. Now, regarding the competitive dynamics, I'm not going to lie, it's tough. So I think the competitive dynamics during Q3 were tight. I think a couple of things happened. So there were many very cheap SIM cards in the market. So we saw an increase of dual SIMing that affected our ARPU. That's number one. Number two, we see the incumbent being quite aggressive, to be honest, not only in the SIM card, but in general. So we saw that they launched the Telkomsel Lite back in February, but from that point on, also what we see is that they keep being quite aggressive with their portfolio in the traditional channel, but also in their application or in their CVM strategy. So I think that's what we can see. The response to our price increase, to be honest, we have not seen any significant response. As I'm seeing, we see the incumbent still being aggressive. So that's the result. We increase prices, but to be honest, the market we see very not response. In any case, even Telkomsel being a little bit more aggressive. To the second question, answering about the outlook for mobile ARPU, again, we expect to keep growing the ARPU. So this quarter was a very bad thing. We believe that based on three different things, our ARPU decreased even more than what we were expecting. One is the economic situation. So we see that the buying power of the customer has been affected, and in Q3 was lower. Number two, we keep saying this, but we see the local Wi-Fi players being a threat and stealing part of our traffic. And number three is the competition, as I was mentioning, a couple of things, very cheap SIM cards in the market, which pushed quite a lot of dual SIMing, and the incumbent also going quite aggressive. So I think those three factors made that the ARPU decrease. We were able, as you can see, to hold our customer base, so we didn't lose subscribers, but we saw that part of the subscribers moved their traffic somewhere else or stopped some of the traffic. And again, because of economic reasons, because of the Wi-Fi usage, and because of competition. I will now let Abhijit answer the third question.
Yeah, hi, Pete. Hi, everyone. So I'll take your second question. In home broadband, how is the competitive dynamics? Again, the same as what David was mentioning on the mobile side. The competitive intensity is increasing. David was alluding to local Wi-Fi players stealing the mobile traffic, but the same players also impact the fixed broadband as well, because they go in at price points which are considerably more aggressive than the national players. Unfortunately, now the basis of competition in the fixed broadband is moving towards price. I think all of you must be aware that even national ISPs are now becoming more aggressive in terms of pricing for new acquisitions. From that angle, the outlook for ARPU. So we've held our ARPU. I think in the last call I had mentioned we were closer to 300. We are now between 250 to 300, but the LinkNet business has just come over, so we will crystallize our view as the next months go by. But outlook for ARPU, I can tell you, is going to be challenging for the whole market, because it's not just the local players. Now the national ISPs are also becoming super aggressive in terms of the pricing strategy. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Abhijit. Now I would like to invite to Pius. If you have further questions, we have opened your line.
Yeah, hi. Thanks a lot. Thanks, management, for answering my questions. Just follow up on the mobile side. Can I confirm that you have increased prices in first week of September across both the brands, or it has been selective kind of increases? Um, and second is what needs to change for mobile tariffs to increase broad-based across the industry? And third question is on the home broadband side. With the challenging outlook for ARPU, which you have highlighted, how does the economics change, the payback period change, and does it change your rollout um, uh, strategy? Thank you.
Yeah, so let me take the first question. Yes, I can confirm that we did increase for both brands and in different channels, both for EXCL and Axis, the prices in the first week of September. Now, what needs to happen for this? Well, I guess that what we will have loved to see is that the market, not only us, but other players also started increasing prices, which I think it didn't happen, right? So I think we came from I think it was 2023, right, where almost everyone was increasing prices. So I think in that side, that environment, I think it's a healthier environment where the prices can go up. In these types of environments, it's tougher. It's tougher, especially if the incumbent is taking an aggressive stance. It's tough to increase prices, right? So I think that's what I can comment on that.
So your second question, Piyush, about growth prospects, right? Given that the LinkNet business has transferred over, we already have 6 million-ish homes passed already. So in terms of prospects for us to drive penetration in that base, yes, it is still there. But overall, in terms of the rollout strategy, look, the market growth prospects haven't changed. There is still a lot of potential in the market. It's just that players have to be a bit smarter. So on our side, given that we are a ServCo, we take care of the retail side, we have to be a bit more agile, a bit more disciplined, a bit more efficient in our costs so that we try and protect our margins. But I think the same rule will apply on the supply side as well, right? The wholesale people who are deploying the fiber for us, how do they efficiently kind of manage the capex per home passed so that all in all the model progresses? And this economics is true regardless whether you're a ServCo or a pure fiber co or an integrated co, right? Whoever is deploying infrastructure in the ground has to be mindful of the end prices in the market, and they have to drive efficiencies. And whoever is managing the retail interface also have to do the same.
Got it.
Does
Just
that
on the
answer your
home,
question, Piyush?
yeah. Just given that you have mentioned you have 6 million home pass and only 1 million customers, like we have seen in other markets, penetration level can reach 30 to 35% of the home pass. Is that something which can be
Correct.
driven, or there is some kind of bottleneck to drive that?
No, so is your question then is the same kind of growth applicable to us? So yeah,
Yes, yes.
this is what I
Okay.
was mentioning when I started my answer, that we have that. So there is scope for us to increase our penetration in this footprint as well.
In the existing footprint. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Pius. Now let's move on to the next question from Kevin Jonathan from Bahana Sekuritas. The first question is on postpaid ARPU in Q3 2024, decline on quarterly yearly basis. What caused this and what ARPU trends do you expect going forward for EXCL?
So regarding the postpaid, as you may know, in the beginning we were in the tier 1 cities, and we have been expanding to tier 2, tier 3, and this type of cities. So we see that when we expand to other cities, usually the ARPU keeps decreasing. In any case, we see that the ARPU difference with prepaid is still big and healthy. The ARPU trend that we expect the ARPU to increase. Honestly, I mean, it's this quarter three was bad, clearly, but we expect the ARPU of EXCL to keep increasing. Part of it naturally, right? But part of it also because one of our top strategies that we have been mentioning is the digitalization and moving the customers from a traditional channel to our own applications, AxisNet and MyExcel. So that will bring also the ARPU up.
Then there is another question, which is actually on the P&L. There is a significant increase of others account. Could you explain what drove that?
Yeah, hi, thanks, Kevin. Yes, you're absolutely right. There's an increase in others account on a quarter-on-quarter. That's partly due to a one-off, right? That's related to the completed transaction from LinkNet, which we concluded on the 27th of September 2024.
Okay, now we shall open the line for Kevin. If Kevin, you have any further question?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the opportunity. I have no further question, so best of luck for Excel and management. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have any further questions, please kindly type in. Meanwhile, let me also go to the chat. There was a question that comes from Sukriti Bansal from Bank of America. Let me just read the question. The first question is on Telkomsel Lite, or that were supposed to be Java products. Are you seeing the impact of them in ex-Java as well? Second question is on the other competitors that mentioned on SIM consolidation, but you were saying that there were cheaper SIMs available in the market. I think this is more on the SIMs consolidation. Yeah.
So let me answer that. Telkomsel Lite and Bayu are products that are nationwide, although they are more aggressive in Java. That doesn't mean that in ex-Java they are not competitive. As you know, Telkomsel in ex-Java has much lesser competition, so I guess that they try to give less benefits in ex-Java, not to cannibalize themselves too much. But to be honest, these products are also there, and we have seen quite aggressive Telkomsel Lite and Bayu in the traditional channel in ex-Java, in Sumatra, in Kalimantan, and Sulawesi, right? So that's there. To your second question, to be honest, yeah, I fully agree with you. I don't know what our competitors are saying, but we have not seen consolidation at all. What we have seen is that the market was flooded with cheap SIM cards during quarter three, but literally flooded, right? So I don't know. Maybe someone else is seeing SIM consolidation. What we have seen is just the opposite. We have seen a lot of SIM cards in the market during quarter three.
Okay, I would like now to open the line of Sukriti if you have any follow-up questions to the management. Sukriti, you may ask your question now. seems like there is okay, let's move on to the next question then. I think the next question will move on to the next analyst. The question comes from Nico Margaronis from BRI Dana Reksa. The question is, with the incorporation of LinkNet stubs, what is the outlook for EBITDA margin going forward? Okay, I'll let the answer to be answered by Pak Feiruz.
Hi, Nico. Thank you for the question. The outlook for the EBITDA margin, I think for 2024, we'll stick to the guidance, which is above 50%. I think for the following year, I think once we have a full quarter of the LinkNet's impact, then we will probably give you a better guidance, right? For 2025. Thank you.
Okay, now I would like to open the line for Nico if you have any follow-up questions.
Yes, hi.
Hi, Nico. We can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Pak Feiruz, the management for the opportunity. In addition to my earlier question, Pak Abhijit mentioned that you have plans, to roll out this new maybe new marketing effort to maybe try to monetize better, the new LinkNet subscribers. Can you give us some insight what kind of plans you have in mind? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Nico, thank you. No, I was responding to Piyush's question, right? Given the competitive dynamics, what is the rollout plan, etc. So in that context, I had answered that given that the LinkNet customers have come over, we now have access to around 6 million home pass, combining what has come from them and from us as well. So the LinkNet customers came over on 27th of September. So for now, for us, it is steady as she goes. We have to make sure that these customers, the value proposition we are giving them is continued and the ARPU levels are maintained. So my answer was in that context of Piyush's question. But perhaps you can just elaborate a little bit on your question if I have understood it correctly.
Yes, Pak Abhijit. So basically, I'm assuming that you're gonna start now rolling out this double play, correct? And I mean, and additionally, I want to ask because I have asked before, and you mentioned that this content provision is still being managed by LinkNet. So it's like a pass through, yeah, via EXCL, this content provision.
Yeah.
How to think about it?
Yeah. Okay, let me tackle your questions one by one. In terms of double play, we already have it, right? Because if you look at the LinkNet business, they offer connectivity and content. And when it comes to the legacy XL Home, we offer a fixed connectivity as well as mobile, which is a convergence play with some content as well. So yes, this will continue. Your second question was the content coming from LinkNet, correct? So LinkNet holds the relationship with the content providers, and you need to bear in mind they also have the broadcast license. So when it comes to serving those customers coming from them, specifically related to pay TV, yes, we have to rely on them, and then the content is provided to our customers. But obviously, the reason we are doing this is because we have a strategy of convergence, which is a global phenomenon, and everybody is trying to enter into it. So what that means is we'll be leveraging LinkNet's content further and seeing how efficiently we can deploy it across our entire footprint, and vice versa. Now that the LinkNet customers have come on board into our portfolio, how do we drive mobile penetration into that base? So it's cross conversions, if I can use that phrase.
Yes,
That answers your question.
Yeah. Maybe just the last one to follow up, Abhijit, if I may. I mean, what kind of growth? Because mentioned that there's and you confirmed that there is a possibility that the penetration may reach like 30% to the 6 million home passes. What is the time frame for this to happen? And how can you be resilient with this ARPU 250 to 300K? The 250, 300K, this is, we're talking only for the fixed broadband. Yeah, it's not the double play yet, right? Yeah.
Right. So there are multiple questions in your one question. So let me tackle them one by one. Actually, it was Piyush who mentioned that he has seen 30 to 35% penetration in other markets. So I concurred with him. I said, yes, this is typically what we see. And this is our aspiration as well. So obviously, now that we have a significant number of home passes, our entire endeavor will be to drive penetration into these home passes. So that is our ambition. Sorry, what was your second question? Can you repeat it?
Yeah, the time frame for this for a stronger penetration, and
correct.
You see the ARPU for double play to be and for single play.
So whenever you deploy a certain home pass, there is a time lag, right? So for example, if I deploy 100,000, just making it up, 100,000 home passes today. So for that cluster, penetration to reach 30 to 35% is going to take some time. It's not, doesn't happen in overnight or 6 months or 1 year. Typically, we see this trajectory over 2.5, 3 years. And that depends on the location of the cluster, the other variables that come into play as well. So in terms of time frame, obviously we want it as fast as possible, but this is typically a year-on-year kind of a development and growth. So I cannot tell you exactly it's going to happen on 1st of December or 1st of March. Or no.
Yes.
Yeah. In terms of ARPU, yes. As I was answering the first question from someone, the competitive dynamics has changed and the basis of competition in the market has moved to price. There is a lot of fragmentation on the supply side. And now the national ISPs are also dropping prices. So in this context, it is going to be difficult to sustain ARPU for any player, not only EXCL, right? So that is what we see.
Thank you, Abhijit.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Nico. Yep. Now we shall move to the next question from Etta Putra from Maybank. This is related to the SIM card and what is the penetration for the eSIM? I think this one, I think we will ask Pak David to answer. And also, what is your view on the churn rate and also what's current churn rate? And is there any expected new regulation related to the SIM card activation in relation to the biometrics?
Yeah, so the eSIM penetration, it's still small. It's still small. I won't say an anecdote, but almost. So it's still starting. Our view on it is that it's one less barrier to entry for the customer, which is a positive thing. So currently, if you want to change the operator, you need to go physically somewhere. You need to a lot of times in a traditional channel by NSP, etc. So it's not an easy journey. This will make the journey much easier. So for us, being the third player in the market, that is good. Again, will it increase the churn rate? Well, I mean, it's one less barrier to entry, so it will facilitate those people that are not satisfied with their service to find a better service or to try a better service. So I think we need to focus more on ensuring that our customers are satisfied with the service that we are providing and we attend their necessities. I think that's the key, but for us, it's good news that eSIM is here. Our current churn rate is in the low single digits. So you know that we usually measure churn in two different ways. One is the infancy churn rate, because you know that a lot of the SIM cards that are sold by the third month, many of them are already not there. And then we also follow the churn rate on those customers that are already like more than 90 days or 3 months, right? And again, it's in the low single digits, so it's healthy. Now, we fully support the use of biometric. We believe that this is protecting the customer and their information, so we are 100% supportive of that. We will still focus on the quality subscribers, and anything that brings more safety and helps the customer, we will fully support. So we hope that the regulation with the biometric comes as soon as possible.
Thank you, Pak David. And I would like to open the line of Etta. Pak Etta, please go ahead if you have any follow-up question.
Hi, thank you for the answer. Maybe last questions related to the LinkNet. Is it the network is exclusive for Excel, or it's also open for other ISP? Thank you.
Sorry, it wasn't very clear. Can you please repeat?
So related to the infraco from LinkNet, is the network is exclusive for Excel, or it's also can be used by other ISP? So
Yeah,
I should you already have 6 million home pass that it's also provided by LinkNet, right?
No, the 6 million home passes are not provided by LinkNet. So when we transferred the LinkNet business over, the home passes that came through were around 3.3 million. So those are the home passes coming from them. So LinkNet has aspirations to be a fiber co, and by definition, they would want to open it up for other tenants in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah. So just to clarify for the benefit of all, the 6 million I mentioned is 3.3 roughly from LinkNet, and the remaining that, EXCL has kind of built over the past 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Okay, I hope that answered the question, Pak Etta. Right, let's move on to the next question. The next question from Jundianto Alim from Schroders. How much of your sites do you target to be fiberized? And what is your strategy with LinkNet and EXCL Home in terms of the brands and pricing? And how much synergy can you expect from the revenue and costs? I will let Pak Feiruz to answer on the first question.
Yeah, hi, Jun. With regards to the sites that we target to be fiberized, currently we stand at about 62%, 63%, right? We don't have a specific target, but one could expect, it really depends also on the terms of the traffic growth that we see. So what one could expect, it will move along the same trajectory that what we see in a year on year.
Let me take the second question, strategy with LinkNet. So as I was mentioning while responding to Nico's question, obviously, if I can use the phrase cross convergence, right? The strategy is to start penetrating the LinkNet base with EXCL mobile products and services. And then on the other side, try and see how we leverage the LinkNet content to drive content penetration into the traditional EXCL home base. Specifically in terms of brands, for now, we are not disturbing anything. First Media is an established content brand, so we are continuing with it. And we are also not tinkering with the pricing as well. One thing to bear in mind is the customers came over on the 27th of September. It's just been about a month. There's a lot of technical work which is happening in the background in terms of systems, billing systems, customer-facing systems, payments channels, etc. So this will be completed over the next few months. And once we progress with this work, I think then we can start crystallizing our views on synergies on both revenues and cost side. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to open the line for Jundianto Alim. If you have any follow-up question.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. No follow-up question. Let's move on to the next question from Ranjan Sharma. The question is, how do you define a home pass? I think this one I will let Pak Abhijit to clarify on the definition of home pass.
Yeah, typically what operators do and the fiber companies is it's determined by the number of ports. So I can launch into a detailed technical description, Ranjan, but basically it is the number of ports available on an FAT, and then how many homes can be connected by those FATs, by those ports, and then what are the extensions you can incorporate into that. So that is a definition of home pass. And then home connect is actually when a customer decides to avail of your service, and then you take a cable from that port and actually physically connect the customer into your network. So that will be the home connect.
Okay, let's move on to the next question from Indra Jahya from Macquarie. There are 3 questions. The first question is related to the SIM card. Is the SIM card flooding in Q3 getting worse or better in Q4? And can you elaborate how cheap these SIM cards are? Second question is this on financials. Do you see this 52% EBITDA margin sustainable into 2025, taking aside the merger? And third question is, what is the estimated percentage of revenue from broadband in 26 and 25 and 26? So the first question I think will answer by David.
Yeah. So regarding the SIM cards during Q3, Q4, it's getting better. It's getting better. I think since end of August, starting already September, it started to get a little bit better. And how cheap these SIMs were or are, I think again you can check in the retail outlets, but they can go from prices around 10,000 rupiah, 15,000 rupiah for many gigabytes.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, thanks, Indra, for the second question on EBITDA margin. I think it's a bit too early, right, for us to give any indication for EBITDA margin in 2025. More than happy to provide the guidance at the end of the year once we close 2024. But certainly, as we've crossed the 50% EBITDA margin, I think the aim is to stay that way. Certainly, EBITDA margin is not just a function of cost excellence, which we continuously focus on, but also how the industry moves, right, in terms of the top line growth. And on the third question, on the percentage of revenue for broadband 2025, 2026, likewise, it's a bit too early to give any indication for 25, 26 at this juncture. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Feiruz. Now, I'd like to open the line of Indra Cahya. If you have any follow-up question to management.
Yeah, maybe if I don't mind, allow me one question. Oh, I'm just wondering, what is the average speed tier that the broadband customers typically take from XL, i.e. LinkNet? I mean, is it below 30 or is it 100 megabytes per second? Maybe just some color on that. Thank you.
I'm sorry, it wasn't very clear, Indra. Can you repeat your?
Okay. Yeah, the average speed tier that your fixed broadband customers are taking. I mean, is it the 20 Mbps, 30 Mbps, or is it higher than that?
Oh, speed, you mean in terms of the customers, right?
Yes,
There are
correct.
a variety of products. So
For broadband, fixed broadband.
it's more, I know you're talking about fixed broadband. I was trying to understand your question. You can consider above 50 because we have very high speed products. That is what fiber lends itself to, right?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Some customers we have on 1 gig products as well. So.
Thank you. Thank you, Pak Abhijit. Let's move on. We go to the question from Henry Teja. Henry Teja from Mandiri Sekuritas. housekeeping questions for Pak Ferus. Can you elaborate on the cost decline and what is the driver of expenses decline despite having more subs and data traffic?
Yeah, thank you, Henry, for the question. If you look at a year-on-year, I think a majority of our cost line items have either remained flat or declined, right? Even if you take as a percentage of revenue. What we have actually done is basically relooked, right? Literally did also a housekeeping, right? To your housekeeping question in looking at line by line items. So it's a need for items like a cost of goods sold or direct costs. We've taken a look at our unit costs, right? And infrastructure in particular, we've really looked in terms of how we can sweat the assets. So earlier identification of sites, we've talked about prioritization and also maximizing and sweating the capacity. That's what we've done to optimize the available capacity, as well as if you look at in particular sales, marketing and sales expense, that has come down considerably. Again, this is to our efforts that we've been focusing on for the couple of quarters is looking across our distribution channel, moving more and more towards our own channel. And last but not least, obviously overheads as well, right? So all particular items have enabled us to deliver a lower cost structure, almost flat year on year, and that has enabled us to improve our margins. I hope that answers your question.
Right now, I'd like to open the line for Henry Teja. If you have any follow-up questions, please.
Yes, thank you, Pak Chris, and thank you, Pak Ferus, to answer my question. Perhaps one follow-up question to Pak David. You mentioned about how Telkomsel the incumbent basically being aggressive in the past few quarters. But can you elaborate more on that, and how do you see the trend going to fourth quarter, Pak? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, not much to elaborate, right? So if you go to the traditional channel, you can see that the products that they have there, prices are not going up, but probably in the opposite direction, and the benefits probably keep increasing, right? So we see either because they are maybe with marketing programs or whatever, we see that the prices of the products are aggressive and the benefits are high. They are also pushing quite a lot Value. That's another brand that I think they are trying to make it more available, right? So we see quite a lot of push on that brand as well with aggressive prices. But again, we believe that Value is still small. But in Telkomsel, even Telkomsel Lite and other products, they are aggressive.
Okay. Thank you, Pak David. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, the question comes from Pius from HSBC. So the first one, I think on the industry flooded by SIM. Do you see the industry flooded by SIM from Telkomsel? Which I think later on Pak David can address. In home broadband, there has been discussion with regulators. Has there been any discussion with regulators to take any action against illegal players? I think this is related to the RT/RW net, Pak Abhijit. Later on we address that. And any update you can share on the MAU sign between Axiata and Sinarmas to explore merger between XL, Axiata, and Smartfren? So 3 questions from Pius.
So regarding by who flooded the market, again, so there are many operators. So if it's flooded, usually it's all. Probably there are some that are flooding more than the others. Probably not for me to respond in here, right? I will let Abhi to answer the second one.
Yeah, Piyush. So yes, the short answer to your question in home broadband, there has been an ongoing discussion with the regulatory bodies over the past many months. Through APG and through independently and in conjunction with the other players as well. And you must have seen in the press that the government has started taking some actions, deeming it illegal and encouraging people to apply for licenses, blah, blah, blah. But is this enough? Obviously not. There is a lot of work more to be done. And we are continuously discussing with them on how to enforce the policy framework and the regulations to make it a more sustainable and a healthy kind of business environment.
Thank you, Abhijit.
Yeah, with regards to the third question, I think the question was, if I'm not mistaken, any update that we can share with regards to the intended merger? What we can probably say is the due diligence phase is probably towards the end. I think once that has been concluded, then certainly both parties will further discuss, and as any normal process, then you come into a definitive agreement. Of course, then subject to relevant approvals, right, from the authorities and stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Feiruz. Let's move on to the next question from Bob Setiadi from CGSI. Okay. Can you explain the Q-on-Q decline in data traffic while your peers show an increased Q-on-Q? What is the outlook in Q4? And also second is on the quantification of one-off costs on LinkNet in Q3.
Yeah, so as I was saying before, our ARPU decrease was because we saw that the traffic per subscriber decreased. So we lost traffic, as you are mentioning. As I was saying, we saw three potential reasons. One is the economic situation. The second one is the Wi-Fi offloading, the Wi-Fi players. And the third one is competition. The first and the second, of course, apply to everyone, right? Everyone is in the same economic situation, and everyone is in the affected by the Wi-Fi players. So I will tend to believe that if we go down in traffic, someone must be taking our traffic. And the reason why you will move, probably, I mean, there are many, but if you were with EXCL, it's what we were mentioning before, right? One thing that we saw is dual SIM increasing. So I think we can assume that they found cheaper options somewhere, and they moved part of their traffic there. Yeah, we hope that traffic will come back, right? So yeah, we are working in that direction.
Thank you, Pak David. I would like to open the line of question from Bob Setiadi. Bob, please feel free to unmute for your question.
Yeah, probably you haven't answered my second question regarding the one-off cost from LinkNet in third quarter. We just want to know how big is the one-off and whether it will continue in fourth quarter. Thank you.
Sorry, Bob, your voice is a bit soft.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, much better.
Yeah, just want to know how much is the one-off cost from LinkNet transaction in third quarter and whether we will see further in fourth quarter.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. I think with regards to the LinkNet transaction was concluded on 27th of September. I think the one-off impact for the transfer obviously had some impact from the adjustment of the cost of investment. That's probably to the tune of about 100 billion that is impacted in the third quarter. Thank you.
Sorry, 100 billion in third quarter only, or there will be more coming in fourth quarter?
No, I think that the fourth quarter, obviously, there will depend on the migration efforts. But this is, to your question, is to the LinkNet transaction, right? Specifically, that's the ballpark number, right, that we can share that has impacted the one-off costs.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bob. I think with that, we conclude today's conference call. We'd like to thank everyone for your participation. And as always, do get back to us through Investor Relations should you need further information. Please stay safe and healthy, and we will see you next quarter. Thank you.